Hello, everybody. Congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks, and welcome on in to baseball here on youtube.com/Shaunosaurus Rex. We're going to run it late on a Sunday night. That means only one thing. I'm going to be miserable tomorrow, but we're doing it for the love of the game. MLB 11 the show here on the PlayStation 2. Welcome on in, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Let's jump into today's actions. We have one hand-picked game, which was the Astros and the Dodgers. They're the only teams that really have like super close records. And then 3 wheel spin games: Angels, Yankees, Padres, Mets, Marlins, and the Reds. Let's jump into it because I don't have things set up. We're playing fast and loose today, and it has the correct thumbnail. Look at that, or the correct JPEG, I should say. But welcome on into the stream, everybody. There were only like 10 games to pick from, so we didn't have a great selection of games, but that sometimes is what happens. I will bop off the screen for a second. We'll grab a thumbnail and we'll go from there. Don't forget, subscribe, ring the bell, hit the thumbs up. Free, easy ways to help the channel. Kind of a funky Super Bowl. Seahawks led. Patriots tried to make it close, but a couple of late Drake May INTs, including an interception touchdown, that was all it took. You'll still be able to hear me, but you just can't see me. Grab this thumbnail, save it correctly, and then bing, bang, boom. We'll be on our way. Welcome to Yankee Stadium, home of, well, the Yankees. New York is 36-29, the Angels 30-35. They were kind of making a play for the AL West, but never really seemed to be able to get there. Let's go here, and it is June 17, and it's the first game. Los Angeles, their lineup looks like this. It is Cameron Maybin, the center fielder. Casey McGee at third base. Adrian Gonzalez at first. Jim Tome is a DH. Ryan Ludwig in left. John Buck at catcher. Ben Zobrist, the right fielder. Felipe Lopez is the shortstop. Ryan Roberts, your second baseman. Now, with that, I can go over here. I can edit. I can go down here. I can click change thumbnail and then find the correct one. Jeff Weaver's 9-3 with a 3.63 ERA. 13 games, 39.2 innings pitched, 36, 15, and 20 hits, walks, and strikeouts. And here we go. Seattle, they kicked a record 5 field goals. Felt like it was a really fitting way for the defense to be able to cap that game off with that pick 6. But now it's baseball time. It is baseball season. Here's the wind and the pitch. We are underway with a strike in game number 1. I will give myself a hard out at, let's call it 10:45 p.m. That is going to be looped into left field for a leadoff single. One swing, one hit, one single. One swing, yeah. I don't know where I'm going with that. Casey McGee will try to get to bed at a decent time, while being as committed as possible to 4 games in the night. Pitch misses for a ball, 1-0. Nobody out with a runner on first. I think we were blessed with kind of a shorter episode recently. Oh, you know what it was? It wasn't that we had a shorter episode. It was that we had 2 real quick games, and then the other 2 could be a little longer, and it wasn't as bad. The righty winds and fires. That's fouled away. Here comes the 1-1. It is outside for a ball. 2-1. Everybody's favorite email notification. Now live on your own channel. Thanks, man. I got it. Appreciate it. 2-1 on the way, and that is looped out towards center field. Center fielder has it. The runner from first stands and watches. As the catch is made, he'll retreat. 2 away. Adrian Gonzalez, batting .347, 11 home runs, 33 RBI. I do like the way that those numbers work. He has just 11 3-run home runs. That's it. Righty fires. All the Los Angeles batters have taken the first pitch. Second one that has gone in their favor. 1-0. Here's the wind and pitch number 2. Going to be rolled over to first base. He'll fire to second. In time for 1. There was a huge hiccup in that animation. Unsurprising for this game, considering just how bad it is. What happened? It was like he was going to be slid into? That was very weird to look at. It didn't initiate the tumble animation, which typically comes with a throw that's usually in time. It's just a funky animation all around. It does give Los Angeles another chance, and this game does love punishing teams who cannot figure out how to turn double plays, even though the game itself just cannot turn double plays. It punishes the teams for what it cannot do. Our Madden 26 stream was pretty accurate. That's low for a ball. Who ended up being, as soon as the game ended, I cleaned up a little bit of what I had out for the snacks, and then I came in here, so I don't know who got Super Bowl MVP or anything. So we can take a look at the score app, because that's fouled away. 1-2. Oh, Kenneth Walker. Good for him. That is fouled away. It would have been a no-doubter if that touchdown had counted, but it got called back for a hold. 160... Oh, no. He had 161 scrimmage yards. Low for a ball. Two and two with 2 out. A runner on first. Righty winds and fires. He's going to roll that toward the shortstop. He'll pick it up. Fires in time for out number 3. So we will head to the home half of the first. The Angels pick up a hit. It was the leadoff hit, and then nothing after that. Scott Posednik is the left fielder. He will lead off for the New York Yankees. Brandon Phillips at second. Prince Fielder at first. Hank Blaylock, the DH. Marlon Byrd in center. Casey Blake at third. Miguel Tejada is the shortstop. Cody Ross in right field. And Giovanni Soto is the catcher. Cody Ross, one of the happier guys to be here. Oh, that's next guy up. Weird. But it's for the wrong team. Now that we are through that, Cliff Lee, the lefty, is going to start. .450 ERA with a 9.3 record. 13 starts, 38 innings pitched, 40-10-35. Hits, walks, and strikeouts. There's your Los Angeles Angels defensive lineup. I thought maybe Cody Ross was in kind of a weird spot. There are just a couple of teams that have some notable changes to their lineup that really stand out. Toronto's a good example. Florida is also a good example. Whereas some of the other teams, even if we were to watch them the same, it would be like, is that out of spot? Out of place? Oh boy, he yeeted that into the camera well. I guess the speed... he hit that into the ground. It should have been an out. It was a little deep. It was going to be tight at first base, but it'll give the Yankees the extra 90 feet. As that sails into the camera well up the first base line. So a runner immediately in scoring position. And a 1-0 pitch. And interestingly enough, the Yankees are going to send him to third. Oh, God. Well, I don't know why the game is getting so aggressive with sending runners to third. We saw it the other day. I had hope. I felt like when the Patriots scored that touchdown, I'm like, we have hope. I was like, okay, if the Yankees can knock this run in, they could use 2 outs, pop fly, advance, whatever. 3-0 count, by the way. Then they'll score that run from second. They'll take an early lead. That's what we need if we want to try and get out of here in a reasonable time. And then they sent him to third base for no reason. And it'll bring up Prince Fielder. 2 lefties in the lineup, even against the lefty Cliff Lee, is an interesting lineup decision for the Yankees. They also just might not care. 5 balls in a row after the 4-pitch walk. One 0 is low and inside for a ball. And it didn't matter. Did not swing at it, but gets the strike call at the knees. Here's the wind and the pitch, and that is going to be lifted into left field. The Yankees have cost themselves a run. Runner will hit second and try for third, but turn back. Excellent throw in from right field. So it'll be 2 on, 1 gone. Man, Yankees should be up 1-0, but we'll see what they can do here. Hank Blaylock, another lefty hitter that I really just did not take note of. Because again, I'm just not as familiar with this Yankees lineup. Here's the wind and the pitch. It's going to get in the dirt, but blocked nicely by the catcher. Here comes the 1-0. It is surprisingly a ball. That looked like it crossed the plate and had the height to be a strike, but I guess Cliff Lee's just not throwing enough strikes to get the call. That is an out by the shortstop. Nice play defensively. And 2 gone. 324 average, 3 home runs, 14 RBI. Does have 1 stolen base in there just for fun. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is high and inside for a ball. 1-0. Some patient at-bats here for both teams. That's outside. Ball 2. There's a strike. Good take there. Probably not going to do a whole lot with it. I think you want to just... Best case scenario, it is on the inside. Best case scenario, it's a 3-0 count. Worst case, 2-1. You don't want to be out number 3 with a runner in scoring position on a pitch you're probably not going to get a whole lot on. Okay, maybe go for that one. 2-2. Lee gets a couple nice pitches on the inside to even the counts up. And that's outside for a ball. Very patient at bat here for the righty. And a full count. Here's the wind and the pitch from the lefty. Everybody in motion. Foul ball. Foul ball. That's foul. That ball is foul. Here's another payoff pitch. Outside for a ball. Had a hard time telling what the call was. I didn't hear anything in my headphones, but I guess you never really know. So Lee issues a walk. And it'll be up to Casey Blake to try and drive him in. The Yankees at this point have for sure cost them a run. I think you can make an argument that on that Prince Fielder hit, maybe they're not super aggressive and they don't send the runner that theoretically would have been on second all the way around, because they did hold the runner, the lead runner, to second rather than trying to send him to third. But if it were a bases loaded situation and then it's a walk, but it doesn't matter because they tried to steal third. That's low for a ball. We've lost our thing. Not a HUD. Score bug. There's the word. There it is. 1-1 with 2 out. Bases loaded for the Yankees here in the bottom of the first. The wind and the pitch. Low again. Cliff Lee having trouble finding the strike zone with any level of consistency. Wind and the pitch, and that is rolled to the third baseman. Fires over, almost accidentally got the tag between second and third. New York unable to take advantage of the error that Los Angeles gives them. The Yankees load the bases, come away with nothing on a hit. A hit, an error, a walk. Yeesh. 2 walks? So we'll head to the top of the second, no score, and a swing on the first pitch is foul. First base side, 0-1 now. Pitcher is ready. He fires that inside for a ball. 1-1. Mad at the Yankees now. I don't need more reasons to be mad at the Yankees, but I am now because why are you stealing third? Big swing on the pitch that dove down out of the zone. 1-2. You got to help me out, okay? Just because I'm several hours late because of the Super Bowl, you got to help me out. Here's a wind and the pitch. It is hit. Oh, my God. Okay, nice leaping grab by Prince Fielder over at first. John Buck, 218 with a home run and 8 RBI. Righty winds and fires inside for a ball. One 1-0 with 1 gone. Nobody on. Top 2 of a scoreless game. That is foul up the third base line. That's way upstairs. Upstairs. Swung on and missed. Hey, walk-off, how's it going? 2-2. The righty winds and fires. That's in the dirt. For a ball. 3-2. Both pitchers have looked pretty shaky here so far. A lot of balls issued. A couple of walks already from the Angels starter, Cliff Lee, as that's fouled away. Here comes another payoff pitch. That is foul again. So staying alive here. That'll be rolled over to the second baseman. Fired to first in time for the out. Long at bat Results in just an out. But did a good job to stay alive. Try and fight for that ball 4, or just try to get something that he can see and do something with. It is in for a strike. Oh, and 1. That is rolled. First base side stays fair. I hope we get some sleep tonight. So we will head to the home half of the second. All right, what can the Yankees do here in the the bottom of the second? Looking at left-hander Cliff Lee. A lot of talking from me, a lot of cheering today. Oh, that plunked him. That got him right in the lower back. Cody Ross, hey, he's just happy to be here. 293 average, 4 home runs. That is fouled away. Sorry, foul ball. Foul ball. That stayed up in the air forever. That's fouled away. 0-2. So Cliff Lee having a real hard time here. He's hit a batter, a couple of walks in that first inning. Here's the 0-2. It is rolled up the third baseline, and that is foul. The lefty winds and fires. That one's well inside. One and 2. That is low for a ball. Two and 2. Driven past a diving shortstop. Could have been a double play, but instead it's not. We have runners on the corners as he slides head first into third safely. It's a good opportunity for the Yankees to score in this bottom of the second inning and really limit how much time the Angels, have to retaliate. Giovanni Soto. Nobody out. Lots of ways to try and get this run in. Facing the lefty. That is high for a ball. 1-0. Soto takes a ball low. Shakes his head in approval. The wind of the pitch inside for a ball. Not a great idea for Lee to walk the bases loaded again. But he'll stand and deliver. Soto takes a strike at the knees. I think it's a good take. So Sam Darnold's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Never would have bet on that. I wouldn't have either. 3-1. Swung on and missed. Pitch on the outside. And defense for Seattle was incredible today. Full count. Lee is ready. Here's the payoff pitch. It is hit into left field. That will score a run and just advance the Runner 90 feet from first to second. Darnold's stat line was not wildly impressive. He missed a couple of throws that probably could have been touchdowns. One to Smith-Njigba, and another one to 22 Shaheed. Darnold, 19 of 38, exactly 50% passing, 202 yards and a touchdown. But hey, he did not turn the ball over. Drake May did twice. I think 3 times if you include the fumble. Five field goals for Seattle, a couple of touchdowns. Yankees are looking good. What do we got? 2 on, nobody out. Yeah, 2 on, nobody out. A 2-1 count. It is a funky bit of the lineup here against this lefty. That's foul. So you have a couple lefties here in these top 3 spots. Baseball is back. Pitchers and catchers report tomorrow. Congrats on the Seattle Super Bowl title. Thank you. I will take all the credit for that. I played all 22 positions on the field. I assembled a team. I coached. I trained everybody. Me. That is in. Hits the gap. It's going to go into left field. Is there a play at the plate? It's a nice throw. He is out. Cody Ross got a little too excited there. Brandon Phillips worked a walk in his first plate appearance. And it is officially baseball season. Get excited, everybody. That is low. 33 days until MLB The Show 26 releases. For us deluxe edition sickos. That is rolled. Ooh, first baseman tried to dive for it. Do they send? No. They'll hold the bases loaded. Second time the Yankees have had the bases loaded in today's game. Cliff Lee has a good record here for the Angels. As it is. Can't wait to see my team. Spring training, yeah. It's coming up. The lefty winds. Prince fielder drives it foul. Oh, and 1. Lee fires. Oh, fielder pulled that one. Foul ball. That is rolled foul. We'll go again. Fielder. Where do they go with the ball? They'll throw to second. That is out, but safe at first. The run scores. A little surprised he didn't go home and then try to go to first. It's a force out, so at least prevent the run. Instead, he just took a runner out of scoring position. Hank Blaylock, he's 0 for 1 today. 2-0 Yanks. That is pulled foul. I feel like that insurance run for the Yankees is really going to help them in this top of the third. There's a curveball driven out towards left field. Ballpark will hold it. And makes the catch. Out number 3, but they scored 2. Lopez, Roberts, and Maben coming up for the Angels in the top half of the third. Last chance. Felipe Lopez batting .319, 1 home run, 10 RBI. Does have a couple stolen bases on the line. Stat line. I was trying to think of the word stat line. Couldn't figure it out. Inside for a ball. I think you'd like to see a little more aggression from the pitcher. Get a little cute on the edges. Worst case scenario, he cuts the lead in half. Best case scenario, you get an aggressive first swing, one pitch, one swing, one out. Instead, he misses inside for a ball. That misses outside for a ball. That is in for a strike. 2-1 now. To leadoff hitter for the Angels. Yankees crowd a little quiet here at the top of the third. Of course, the game doesn't really understand that it's the final inning of the game. It's just kind of like, it's just a third inning for them. Here comes the 3-1. It is driven foul. Batters love swinging at a 3-1 pitch in this game. So a full count. And that'll be lifted into the gap between left and center, aka the left center gap. Don't know why I phrased it like that. Hits the cutoff man, and it's a leadoff double. So the Angels get something going here in the top of the third. The wind of the pitch is low for a ball. Both pitchers continuing to work out of the zone. And the batters have done a good job being patient. There's another pitch outside. 2-0. The wind and the pitch is in for a strike. Needed that call to go his way. Otherwise, you're looking at a 3-0 count, which obviously not where you want to be, but at the same time, you're going to try and work those edges. You need a little help from the umpire. He gets it on that one. 2-1. Here's the pitch. It is inside. Gets the swing and the miss to even things up at 2-2. That was an aggressive swing. Here comes the 2-2. And low. Oh my God. Please throw it in the zone. In the strike zone. You can't be grouchy. Can't be complaining about the pitchers yet. They do get way too cute at times. And it is pretty frustrating because especially when they don't hit their spots. That's a lifted foul up the third base side. Like, you are not throwing strikes consistently enough to be trying to tease the edges of the zone. And that'll be rolled. Second baseman comes up with it. Fires to first in time for out number one. Runner advances to third. Oh. He was injured. He got injured on his run up to first base. Or third base. What? Wellington Castillo, a pinch runner. Okay, there was an injury. All right. Cameron Maben. Did he slide in funnily? What happened over there? Oh, we can't even look at the replay. God dang it, you stupid game. Ah. Here's the wind and the pitch. It's low for a ball. It is so jarring when we get those injury, like, animations or showcases or whatever. It's like, oh no, so-and-so's injured. Because it's the same problem in the current MLB The Show, where nothing about the play makes it look like it's an injury. The game just, like, rolls the dice and goes, oh no, you've torn your ACL now. It's like, what? Nothing different happened. I have to go back and see how we lost Luke Raley. I know we lost him to a separated shoulder. That's going to get away from the catcher. Runner dives back to third. I thought he was injured. I was so worried that he was injured. But I feel like we lost Luke Raley in last season to, like, just a routine play. And it was like, oh, he has a separated shoulder. He's done for the year. All right. And he issues a walk. Okay. Double play is in order, so that's the positive news from that. The negative is that number 52 here just cannot find the zone. How aggressive are you if you are the Angels batters, or runners, excuse me? Casey McGee, 0 for 1. Just under 300 with the average. You try to put him in scoring position. That is out number 2 if you miss. That is driven out toward right field. The right fielder comes up with it. The lead is cut to 2-1. Cut off. Doesn't even throw it in. Rip Terrence Gore. Super lame to read that this morning. Yeah, that sucked. Adrian Gonzalez. Runner on first. Now I think you really can't send him down to second. Maybe try to work a hit and run on that previous at-bat, but you can't lose the game with an out at second, so I don't think you even risk it. And it won't matter anyway. Second baseman comes up with it, fires to first in time. That is out number 3, and that is game number 1 of 4 today. Yankees pick up the 2-0 win. They score in the second to make it real tricky for the Angels. And like I said, in that top of the second, yeah, I had bottom of the second, I had a feeling that insurance run was going to come in handy, and it certainly did. So the Angels fall in this one, 2-1, your final. Yankees are looking good in the AL East. Jeff Weaver, your player of the game, 3 innings pitched, 2 hits, no strikeouts. He improves to 10-3. Cliff Lee, no slouch, record-wise 9-4. Though he did not pitch particularly well. Neither guy really pitched all that well, if we're just being honest. Both pitchers were all over the place. But Yankees win, 2-1. We will head to game number 2. Hey, we're staying in New York, by the way. Padres and the Mets. We'll flip from the AL to the NL. Thanks, everybody, for joining me here in this post-Super Bowl stream. Today's game, Padres Mets. Oh, hang on. Guardians over the Red Sox, 2-0. There you go. As it's loading, don't forget to subscribe. Give the video a thumbs up if you're enjoying. Ring the bell. You'll get notified. Be back tomorrow night with more MLB 11 The Show. 4 more games. So there should be an extra series that start tomorrow. There were not a ton of selections today, so hopefully we get some more fun ones. I got to grab the thumbnails, so I was trying to just get going as quickly as possible. And hey, wouldn't you know it, the PlayStation 2 doesn't really do anything fast. Makes it tricky in a pinch. Padres are an even 33-33. The Mets are 30-34. I keep talking about it, but the Mets, I don't think it would matter at this point. But with the fact that they started 0-6. Oh, man. Andrew McCutchen is the center fielder. He'll be leading off, followed by Ryan Sweeney. Then it's David Wright. Or Sweeney is the designated hitter. David Wright at third. Justin Upton in right. Jared Santalamacchia is the catcher. James Looney. He's at first. Bobby Abreu in left. J.J. Hardy at shortstop. Brendan Ryan at second base. I'll grab that thumbnail real quick. Flop it. I don't want to download that. I already have it. Thank you. Change. We go down here. We hit that. We hit enter. We hit save. This has been your play-by-play of me changing the thumbnail. Scott Feldman is 3-6 with a 7.13 ERA. 12 games, 35.1 innings pitched, 43, 12, and 21 hits, walks, and strikeouts. Here is your New York Mets defensive lineup. Andrew McCutchen batting .267, a couple of home runs, 12 RBI, 3 stolen bases. He'll lead off here against New York. Yeah, I don't think the Mets, even if they had maybe, I'd always said if they'd split those first 3 games, 3-3, because of how well the Phillies and the Marlins have been playing all season, they might not even be in it anyway. Got a 1 pitch, 1 swing, 1 out. McCutchen, yeah, 0-0. Ryan Sweeney is next to bat. With 1 away here in the top of the first. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is high for a ball. 1-0. Foul ball makes it 1-1 with 1 gone. That is rolled foul. Third base side. Foul ball. That ball is foul. 1-2. The righty readies and fires. Drilled foul. Foul ball. That's what we call foul ball right there. We'll go again. 2-strike pitch is outside for a ball. Evens the count up at 2-2. Here's the righty to wind and pitch and drilled foul into that first row of seats. Count remains 2-2. Feldman just cannot find the put-away pitch. Well, okay, he did that time. All right, good. What a commentator's curse. I don't even think I finished the sentence before hit the ball. I thought Chris Collinsworth and Mike Tirico were doing everything in their power to jinx players during the Super Bowl. Sam Darnold hasn't taken a sack yet, and he hasn't had a turnover all postseason. It's like, okay. Kicker hasn't missed yet this postseason. He's been perfect inside of 35. Like, all right, buddy. Can you not? Ooh. I'll give him the strike at the knees, 0-1. Hard to believe that a commentator's curse exists with a PlayStation 2 game. Not like there's any speakers in it. Maybe it's all just a weird, funky coincidence. 1-1. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is rolled in front of the catcher. He'll pick it up, fire to first. I thought that was going to go into right field. That was a very nice play by the first baseman. We'll introduce you to the Mets lineup right now. Joe Mather in center field. He'll lead off, followed by Dustin Pedroia at second. Pablo Sandoval at third. Aubrey Huff at first. Hunter Pence in right. Lyle Overbay at the DH spot. Connor Jackson in left. Ramon Castro at the catching position. And Ramon Santiago is at shortstop. I forgot who the Mets catcher or the Mets first baseman was. Then I complimented him and I went, I remember who it is. Now batting apparently David Wright. Oh, the Mets returning home. Carlos Zambrano, 7-5 with a 4.25 ERA. 13 games, 36 innings pitched, 38, 21, and 23. Everybody put your hands up for the song. Joe Mather. I talked over it. Great. Fantastic. Either way, he's not batting well. 154, a home run, 4 RBI. Obviously, that means it was a grand slam. What if it was? What if his 154 batting average is 1 grand slam? And that accounts for literally all 3 stat categories. And he doesn't have an opportunity for a stolen base because he just walked around him. Look at that. And that's how you make headcanon, everybody. You just make up some crap that could be true. It's not too far-fetched. Then you post it on the internet. Fan fiction. The righty is ready. He fires and pulled foul. Up the first baseline. Third baseline. That is picked by the second baseman, thrown on a hop to first in time for out number 1. Nice backhand stop there by the second baseman. Throws it over to first as he drifting back into the umpire. Dustin Pedroia steps in to the right-handed batter's box. Looking to get things going for the Mets here in the bottom of the first. 1 gone. Low for a ball. 1-0. That's inside. Good eyes by Pedroia. Hey, breaking news, everybody. The Seahawks won the Super Bowl. Imagine needing an email for that. That's rolled into center field for a single, so Pedroia on first with 1 away. Like, I'm signed up for, like, the Athletics email for whatever reason. I forget why. It's just like breaking news. The Seahawks won the Super Bowl. They hit you with a lot of, like, breaking news. It must be to get your attention. It's like, it's that? All right. It always feels like it's a late notification, too. Like, I've seen it from other places. Breaking. The Patriots won the AFC Championship. All right. I watched it. Thanks, though. The righty winds and fires in for a strike. Kung Fu Panda. Here comes the 0-1, and it is low for a ball. Gosh, all my words try to come out of my head at once. Blah, blah, blah. 1-1. Here's the wind and the pitch way outside. Nice job by the catcher. Stand in the way. I got you. That runner's not getting to second on my watch. I doubt the Mets would send Pedroia, but with this game, you never know. Yep. Maybe they should have. Pedroia out at second, Sandoval out at first, and that will do it. The Mets pick up a hit, but it's erased immediately by... Oh, was it not Pablo Sandoval? No, now batting. Who was third in the Mets lineup? Because Huff was fourth. Hold on. Justin Upton's leading off. What are we looking at? Carlos Sandoval, right? Yeah, it was Pablo Sandoval. Weird. Ooh, 1 pitch, 1 swing, 1 very bad out. A couple Padres at bats have been very aggressive. Jared Saltalamacchia steps in. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is hit into right field. Right fielder Hunter Pence comes up with it. Fires into the cutoff man. Limits it to a single, as it was going to be anyway. Pulls him off first base after time is called. He's going to timeout. Hey, you can't do that. I'm going to let it slide this time, but... that is low for a ball. Here comes the 1-0. It is in for a strike. Got that inside quarter. Nice location. Righty readies to throw to the lefty. It is a strike at the knees. Another nice location from the Mets pitcher. Feldman? I don't know if that's the right name. I never remember the pitchers' names. But I try to make it out, and hey, shocking. PS2 maybe doesn't look that great in the first place. Stretched out to whatever, 1080p. Not really helping. 2-2. Wind and the pitch. Gets him to foul it away. It is Feldman, okay. I realized I could pause the game. That's helpful. But also sometimes it's fun to just think you see it and then go, that's the name. That's fouled away again. Looking for that payoff pitch or trying to induce a ground ball double play. Upstairs for a ball. 3-2. So a payoff pitch upcoming. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is rolled first base side. Makes the diving stop. Flips to the pitcher covering and at least picks up and out. That's 2 gone. Bobby Abreu batting .232. Couple home runs with 15 RBI. Wind and the pitch outside for a ball. One and 0. That's rolled foul. One and 1. Runner in scoring position here for the Padres, and they are going to drive in a run. Runner hits third and makes the turn. The center fielder in. Cut off by the pitcher. Slides in safely. 1-0 Padres in the top of the second. J.J. Hardy batting .362. And there it is, another punishment for a team that cannot turn a double play because the game simply does not allow the team to turn a double play. I don't allow you to use the internet for your research. What do you mean your research is outdated? You could have used the internet. That'll be rolled to the shortstop. He bobbles it and still gets the out. Needed just an extra half step of speed there up the first base line. Almost an even more disastrous inning for the New York Mets. Huff, Pence, and Overbay coming up for the Mets. high for a ball. Here comes the 1-0. It's at the knees for a strike. Looked a little low from our angle, but umpire gives it to him. 1-1. That's high and gets that high outside corner. Makes it 1-2. Couple nice pitch locations there to get ahead in the count. Righty winds and fires. Swung on and missed by Huff on the inside. That'll be out number 1. That pitch was 92. Four-seam. 92 was a 92 mile an hour four-seam fastball. It was in off the plate. Swing timing very late. A couple of nice locations. Good job kind of going. He went low and inside, high and outside. Jammed it in. Gets the swing and the miss. It'll bring up Hunter Pence. Looking to tie this game up with 1 swing. Future San Francisco Giants. Current New York Met. And apparently a Houston Astro. We've learned about Hunter Pence. Doesn't like the pitch that the catcher called. Here's the wind and foul. Ball. I thought they were looking for a clap. I was excited. I was excited to give that the clap. Fouled away.
That ball is foul.
Here comes the 1-2. It is outside for a ball. 2-2. The wind and the pitch from the righty outside yet again. 3-2. Couple of great takes there by Hunter Pence. Here's the wind. And Pence fouls that one off. It's a good job to just stay with it, stay alive at the plate. Looked like it might have been right on that edge. Don't put your at-bat in the umpire's hands. Here's another payoff pitch. It is rolled over. And the first baseman will step on the bag for out number 2. Thought that was maybe going to be a ball. But that bottom of the zones looked a little tall throughout today. So it's not the worst swing. Just an unfortunate result. That one's low and outside for ball 1. 1-0. I wonder if the Mariners will be... They in the past, the Mariners have streamed their preseason or their spring training games on YouTube. That is on the outside edge for a strike. Because Friday, February 20th, is the first game of spring training for the Mariners. They're playing the Padres, so we might do a watch-along. Might try to start early, play a game with the current roster, and then watch the spring training game. The Mets doing nothing here. They have 1 hit. It was erased by a double play. They go 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 2nd. Brendan Ryan go Mariners. Speaking of, batting .379. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is upstairs for a ball. The righty is ready, and that is rolled foul. It was a kind of a tasty-looking curveball changeup. Had the batter out ahead of it, and rolled over. 1-1. Oh boy, tried it again and got beat. That is a single into center field, and that, you know what? Maybe he should be thankful that it was just a single into center field instead of absolutely obliterated. A moonshot 900-foot blast. Andrew McCutchen 0 for 1, 265 average. Couple of home runs. MLB 13, the show cover athlete. I think somebody was playing that today when we were doing our Super Bowl prediction in Madden NFL 26. McCutchen drives that to the shortstop, underhand to second, around to first, and that is a double play. Big double play for the Mets. Bloop and a blast for the moment can win it for them. Granted, they have to get out number 3 here on the Padres, so getting ahead of myself a little bit there. Wind and the pitch, and that is drilled out toward right field, and that is going to hit the warning track off the fence. I thought I had jinxed them into a home run. Like, they heard me say bloop and a blast to win, and then San Diego's Dikembe Mutombo'd me. I was like, no, no, no. He does a good job just wiggling the finger. Because like you would kind of think it was like a hand thing, but he's like, of course, yeah, I think he's like 9 feet tall, so he probably has very long fingers. Makes it easier to make the wiggle look impressive. 2-0 with 2 outs. That is into the knees for a strike. 2-1. Padres lead 1-0 here in the top half of the third. 2 outs with a runner on second. If you're just joining us, welcome in. That is driven out towards right center field. The center fielder into the gap, reaches out, makes the grab. Nice defensive play. Jackson, Castro, Santiago, last chance for the Mets here. Going to the home half of the third. Connor Jackson stepping into the box. Leading off for the Mets here. Down by 1. A bloop and a blast can win it. A foul ball, though, does nothing. That's foul. That is foul. Here's the wind and the pitch. Outside for a ball. One and one is in for a strike. It's that outside edge. That is rolled to the second baseman, picks it up, fires in time for out number 1. Ramon Castro. 262 average, couple of home runs, 8 RBI, no stolen bases on the season for him. Finally on the same page with the catcher, nodding in approval of the pitch selected. And he is rewarded with a 1 pitch, 1 swing, 1 out as the catcher waves everybody off and catches it just in front of home plate. It's going to leave it to Ramon Santiago. He was batting .247 with no home runs or stolen bases. Does have 3 runs driven in, but he is the last chance for the Mets here in the home half. The wind and the pitch is high for a ball, 1-0. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is driven foul. 1-1. And that's a ball. Okay. Thought that was maybe right at the letters. Looked like it caught the plate to me, but the umpire calls it a ball, gives him a 2-1 count. And that's outside. 3-1. And low for a ball, so okay, doesn't necessarily have to be a bloop. It can be a walk and a blast. Joe Mather. What a time for him to double up that home run total. The batting average does not look great. The walk puts the tying run on first. The winning run here at the dish. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is swung on and missed. Looked like that was a pretty hittable pitch, but couldn't get to it. 0-1. Low for a ball. One and one. Runner on first. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is in for a strike. Mets down to their final strike. They got a walk issued to them, and it's fouled away, so he'll stay alive and do it again.
Foul ball.
Here comes the 1-2, swung on and missed. San Diego just needs one run, and that will be it. Zambrano is going to get the win. Not a whole lot happened in that game. The Mets had the one hit. It got erased by the double play. So the pitcher only faces one over the minimum. And I believe that puts the Padres over 500, 34-33. That NL West has gotten a lot more competitive. The Rockies had run out to like a pretty big lead, but they've been stumbling lately. And the Diamondbacks haven't done a great job taking advantage of that. The Padres have kind of just been lurking. Carlos Zambrano, 3 innings, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. He gets the win to improve to 8-5. Scott Feldman falls to 3-7. No save opportunity, no home runs. And that'll do it for game number 2. That was a 4-game set that comes to a close. Padres go 3-1. And that helps them get over that 500 hump. They had fewer home runs, but they did drive in 9. 8 more at-bats, 7 more hits, over 100 points better on the batting average. No scores to catch up on as we will head to game number 3. I believe it's Marlins Reds. Just going to double check. It is indeed Marlins Reds. There's your starting lineups for both of these teams. Marlins have looked good throughout the season. They are in second in the NL East. The Reds are in the crowded NL Central. There was a point in time where the Reds were competitive, but those days are kind of long gone at this point. They're under 500, and the competition being kind of jammed so tightly between them, the Astros, the Cubs, and the Pirates, they ended up losing out on that one. Let me grab a thumbnail real quick. And then I'll swamp that in. The Marlins 36-28. The Reds 3 games under 500 at 31-34. Been a pretty brutal stretch for them. Save this as June 17th.3. Close that out. And introduce you to the Florida Marlins starting lineup. Craig Hallman, is in center field. He'll lead things off. Designated hitter is Todd Helton. Alex Rodriguez at third, Pat Burrell in left. Garrett Jones in right, Paul Konerko at first, Orlando Cabrera is the shortstop. Jesus himself, Flores, is at the catching position. Danny Espinosa, the second baseman. A-Rod is on the Marlins. That's true. And they did the Marlins just announced that they're bringing back the teal look, and it looks very nice. The fighting fish are back, everybody. Did you miss them? Did you need them? Personally, I just like uniforms that have more color. And they have a good color. Justin DeScherzer? 7-6, a 5.62 ERA, 13 games, 41.2 innings pitched. I got caught on his last name. Farts, 42, 15, 32 hits, walks, and strikes out. DeScherzer? Dutcher. That just sounds like I'm making fun of it when I'm not. Boy, this is a... The Marlins don't need help producing outs before Alex Rodriguez, but they've made sure to put a guy up who has a batting average barely over 100 to help produce outs before Alex Rodriguez goes to bat. Feels like the Marlins are going to make the playoffs just to spite themselves. Here's the wind and the pitch. That is in for a strike. So we know that the Seahawks are going to play the opening game of next season. Do they schedule the Rams for that? Because those Rams-Seahawks games were a lot of fun this year. Here's the 1-1. Inside for a ball. Rams-Seahawks or Seahawks-49ers? I would guess would be the schedule makers going, we got to get that for the Thursday night opener. Here comes the 2-1. Fouled away. Makes it 2-2. I think you would probably want Seahawks 49ers. That is in for a strike. He just took a look at that. That was a pitch that was so bad it was good, but you got to be able to try and adjust to that. It was a slider at 83. You can see the catcher was set up all the way across the plate and then had to bring the arm back to make the grab. Todd Helton's batting .277, no home runs, 7 RBI. No stolen bases. Some of the quotes that the 49ers had after that game, I think you would maybe try to lean into a little bit. When you have players saying that we would have blown the Seahawks out if we were fully healthy. Would you have? Here's a wind and the pitch. That is in for a strike. I don't really believe it, but all right. I know the 49ers had a lot of injuries, but that'll be rolled to the second baseman. Scoops it cleanly, fires to first for out number 2. I mean, that's how it feels like. That's how every Florida Marlins game starts. The leadoff batter is an easy out number 1. And even if he's able to get on base via a walk, via a base hit, Helton comes in behind him and drives it into the ground. It's a double play. You look at Alex Rodriguez's average, 382. That's incredible. You need more runners on base. Just take a big swing at that pitch, low and inside. And you just watch the Florida Marlins go, we don't want anyone on base in front of A-Rod. No thank you, they say. We would like him to do all the work himself. That is foul. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. It is outside for a ball, 1-2. That's fouled away. And A-Rod will drive that to second base. Of course, it feels like every time I compliment A-Rod and how well he's playing in this simulation, then he, grounds out. And it's like, okay, well, that's not super helpful. Let's get you introduced to the Cincinnati Reds lineup. It'll be led off by Grady Sizemore, center fielder, Jeff Keppinger at shortstop, Nelson Rad Cruz in right field, Ty Wigginton at first, Michael Young at third, Logan Morrison in left, Christian Guzman at second, JP Arancibia is the catcher, and Starlin Castro is the DH. Look at cartoon me here for just a second. Starting pitcher is Derek Holland. 6-5 with a 4.28 ERA, 12 games, 33.2 innings pitched, 37-13-27. I have that last number right? Yes, I do. Hits, walks, and strikeouts. Florida Marlins defensive lineup for you there. And we'll introduce you to Grady Sizemore, batting .317, 514, 7. 7 on that last one. Oh, I'm on fire. On fire. And it's a lefty-lefty matchup to start. Sizemore takes a ball low. 1-0. That is driven out towards... It looked like it was going to be center field, but it drifts over to right. That is out number 1. Jeff Keppinger, 361 average. 1 home run, 5 RBI, no stolen bases. The lefty winds in, fires outside, ball 1. That is in for a strike. And that is hit sky high. Catcher looking to make a play on it. Is he going to have one? No. As that cleared the camera well for a strike. 1-2. 1 away. Here's the lefty. Winds and fires. Misses. Interesting. Looked like a strike to us, but what do we know? Here comes the 2-2. That is driven foul. Foul ball. Foul ball. Drilled that fan right in the face. Foul ball. Here comes the 2-2. It is rolled foul up the third base line. Here comes another 2-2. It is hit right back up the middle into center field for a single. So a good job to foul a couple pitches off, stay alive, and then get something you could handle. Puts a runner on. Nelson Rad Cruz batting .343, guilty spark, 8 home runs, 24 RBI. He doesn't really need more. I don't need more words to say, you know. Oh, make a reference to Halo, you nerd. Okay, all right. Well, that is driven out. It looked like it was going to be straightaway center, but the wind pulls it into right center. And the runner retreats back to first. Ty Wigginton, 257 average. 4 home runs, 11 RBI. One on and 2 out. The lefty is ready. He winds and fires. It's rolled foul. Okay. Thought that was going to be another ball. So it seems like the strike zone at the top is like just a touch short. And then at the bottom seems like it's a little long. They just shoved it down a little bit. 1-1. 1 on, 2 gone. And that is smacked into right field. How aggressive are they going to be? They will send the runner. Big turn around second. The cutoff threw everything off. Looked like it was a pretty strong throw in from right, but the lack of rhythm or flow or fluidity in the animation, kind of take your pick at what your criticism of this game would be. Means that the runner gets to third, no problem. So with 2 outs, the lefty pitcher faces another right-handed hitter, this time with a runner in scoring position. That one's pulled foul. Bad for the Marlins, good for the Reds. Probably going to be an easy out for the Marlins. Which explains exactly why it's bad for the Marlins and good for the Reds that it went foul. That pitch misses outside for a ball. That is well inside. That is rolled to the third base side. It'll be Alex Rodriguez. Strong throw across the diamond for out number 3. So the Reds threaten with a couple of hits, but can't come up with the runs. Burrell, Jones, Konerko, the 4, 5, 6 hitters coming up next for Florida in the top half of the second. 7-game hitting streak. Pretty impressive considering these games are 3 innings. That is inside for ball 1. One and oh. That is in for a strike. One and one. The righty is ready. He'll wind and fire. That is outside for a ball. So a good eye from Burrell. Two and one. Here's the wind and the pitch. That'll be driven into left field. Left fielder comes up with it. Gets on that ball pretty quickly and make sure it's just a single. Garrett Jones is next, batting .337. 5 home runs, 25 RBI. Hey, why not pick up number 26 right here, huh? RBI number 26, that is. The righty is ready, winds, and the pitch is inside. 1 and 0. That is driven towards center field. Center fielder plays it with the wind, makes the grab. Runner retreats back to first. Sizemore with a nice play. Very windy day here in Cincinnati. Paul Konerko is next, batting .322. One on, one out. That is driven back up the middle. It's just going to advance the runner 90 feet, so a runner in scoring position. There was no way they were going to get that aggressive. I don't think that runner has the speed. Konerko, though, does a nice job to get a good piece of wood on it. Orlando Cabrera, .221 average. No home runs. Looks like he has 7 RBI. Looking for RBI number 8 right here. One gone. See if he can pick up a double play if the pitcher can do that. We'll get a strike on the outside to start him off. A little surprised to see that call. That edge of the zone has looked like it's been a little inconsistent, but umpire liked what he saw. 0-1. Here's the wind and the pitch. I would say 2 good takes right there. Not going to do a whole lot with that pitch on the edge, and then obviously a ball. Always a good take. Here comes the 1-1. That's outside. Another good take. I think that was an extra, kind of like an extra good take, just because you look at that and you go, okay, the pitch on the outside last time called a strike. How does the batter get overly aggressive? He doesn't. 2-1. The wind and the pitch. That's in the dirt. No one's... Ooh, the runner from second looked like he thought about it for a second, but it was not a good call to run. It was kind of a late decision, so a good decision to turn back. The runner at first didn't even think about it. Immediately went back. Batters love a 3-1 pitch. Here's the 3-1, and it is left into left field. They will just advance 90 feet, station to station here. So the Reds have the bases loaded with 1 out. Still an opportunity for the Reds to pick up the double play. Marlins loaded the bases. I feel like I misspoke, but you know it. Flores batting over 300 at 328. Inside for a ball. 1-0. Here's the wind and the pitch, and that is rolled to the shortstop to second for 1. Around the horn to first for 2. Florida threatens in the top of the second, but the Reds are able to erase the threat. 3 hits, no runs come of it. Morrison, Guzman, and Arancibia coming up for the Reds. Lefty is ready. Here's the pitch. It is in for a strike. Oops. That ball got away. I had to remind myself exactly what game we were on. Fortunately, the other 2 games didn't take too long. So we should be in good shape to avoid the hard out time. I've just jinxed myself. I've just jinxed myself so hard. Oh, Sean, why would you say that? Oh, God. That's rolled to the shortstop. Fires the long throw across the diamond. There is out number 1. Considering that both these teams have put runners in scoring position and not been able to capitalize, I think it's a smart play by Florida to not send the runner in the previous half inning, but also part of it's maybe do it. At least force the left fielder to make a play. I don't think he had the speed though. I think that's the problem. So here comes the 1-0 pitch from the lefty. That is a strike on the outside. That is going to be to the first baseman. Underhand toss to the pitcher covering first, and that is an out. First running back this century to win the MVP, Walker. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is okay up the third base line. That'll stay fair. Is he going to hit that bag at first and go to second? He will have thought about it. And it's a smart turn back because that throw was on target. So it is just a single. Starling Castro, 325 average. No home runs, 10 RBI, 5 stolen bases. And that's going to split the defenders. Do they send him to third? No. Couple of teams a little passive on the base paths. Grady Sizemore's 0 for 1. There's a runner in scoring position here in the bottom of the second. That's what you like if you're the home team. Unfortunately, you don't like that it took 2 outs to get this going. And it's a lefty-lefty matchup. Sizemore takes the pitch outside for a ball, 1-0. That is driven deep right center field. It is gone. That is like 8 or 9 rows back. 3-run home run for the Reds. This was the stadium we saw I think it was the Reds and the Dodgers, maybe? There's a 3-run home run in the bottom of the second, a 3-run home run in the top of the third, and a 3-run home run in the bottom of the third to walk it off. Against the lefty pitcher, gets it 394 majestic feet into the night sky. And 2-out damage. Whew. Jeff Keppinger, 1 for 1. He has a single. That is upstairs. Upstairs for a ball. 1-0. And that'll be lifted into right center field. Is that going to get all the way to the wall? It will. Off the bottom of the wall, and the Reds keep the pressure on. Another runner in scoring position immediately following a 3-run home run. Oh, and look who it is. It's Nelson Rad Cruz himself. Who I guess would no longer be batting .343 guilty spark. It's actually gone down to .340. All right, good for me. I only had to make the reference once, but I chose to make it twice. Here's the wind of the pitch from the lefty, outside for ball 1, 1-0. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is outside, 2-0. You've already given up 3 runs. Gonna try and get something in the zone here. That's upstairs for a ball. I guess with Nelson Rad Cruz to the plate, maybe you don't. Maybe you just say, F it. We're just letting it happen. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is... Ooh, a strike on the outside. I thought that was a little wide for ball 4, but this could be a big swing in the favor of Florida to try and at least get out of this inning. Batters love that 3-1 count. And that's what pitch is upcoming now. It is ball 4. Okay, never mind. Never mind, everybody. Don't worry about it. Just ignore it. One walk for Derek Holland. Not really sure why we're highlighting that right now. 6 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, and 1.2 innings pitched. Having a little trouble getting out of this inning. Ty Wigginton's 1 for 1 with a single. And Cruz in that last at bat, incredibly patient. Took every single pitch. Ooh, thought about it, but held the bat back successfully. Pitches low for a ball, 1-0. I think you would want to try to be a little more passive if you're the Reds. He's walked. He's thrown, what, 5 balls in the last 6 pitches? That'll be driven to the second baseman. Comes up with it. In time for out number 3. That will do it. Not before the Cincinnati Reds pick up 3 on the 3-run blast. Espinosa, Hamlin, and Helton coming up for Florida. I didn't even realize that, or Holman. I keep calling him Hamlin. I don't know why. Holman. My bad. Danny Espinosa. Batting .269. And that is 1 pitch, 1 swing. But the speed gets him safe to first. I wonder if the third baseman maybe could have let that go. Give the shortstop at it, a shot at it, because he did dive on top of it. That does create that extra animation, and because this game has no rhythm or flow, so 1 on, nobody out. Holman takes a ball outside, 1-0. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is low for a ball. Two and 0. That is fouled away. Foul ball makes it 2-1. Here's the wind and the pitch. Thought about it, but held back. Pitch is low to make it a 3-1 count. Clearly looking to induce that ground ball double play. Here comes the 3-1. Winds and fires. It is... Ooh, a leaping attempt at the catch there. Looked a little silly. Did take a great path to the ball. Definitely undercut it a little bit. 3-2. The wind and the pitch is ball 4. Okay, Reds. All right. When I was talking about the 3-run home run, the 3-run home run, the 3-1, you know, when I was talking about that earlier, I didn't need you to replicate it. Now, I don't usually believe in the top 2 batters of the Florida Marlins lineup. However, I do believe in this game screwing me over. So, we're kind of... It's 2 things kind of colliding into one spot. Go ahead run on deck. Helton represents the tying run, and he will foul that one off. 0-2. Trailing 3-0 here in the third. Nobody gone. 2 on. There's a wind and the pitch. That's inside. Helton with a big hack. Gets it off the inside of the bat, and it's 0-2. Still 0-2. The righty readies and fires inside for a ball. Another 2-strike pitch on the way. Helton drives that to the second baseman who picks it up, fires. And it's a double play. Fires to the shortstop covering, and that's 1 gone, 2 gone, just like that. A runner is at third, but even if A-Rod drives one into the seats, or... That animation looks so ridiculous on the replay. He is so far away And yet it still kicks in that tumble animation. Oh, MLB 11 the show. We'll miss you when you're gone. The real question is, will we? A-Rod takes a ball low. 1-0. Two outs, a runner on third. Tying run is now on deck. A-Rod can just cut it down to a one-run game. And he'll take a strike at the knees. 1-1. Night, bro. All right. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out for a little bit. Sleep well. And A-Rod's going to drive a run in. Okay, that'll plate a run to make it 3-1. He's going for second. The throw in is going to be late. It was going to be late, but it's a stand-up double because the cutoff man got it. So the tying run now at the plate. A-Rod gets the rare runner on base, which maybe is the highlight of this whole situation. He has such a good batting average, but so rarely has opportunities to do anything with that. Pat Burrell steps up. He is the tying run. Cincinnati just needs one more out to squeak out a victory. 3-1 the score. Does not get the call on the outside. It's a ball. One and one count. Here's the wind and the pitch. That's fouled away. And that'll be rolled third base side. Makes the spinning throw in time to first for out number 3, and that will do it. The Reds pick up the 3-1 victory. A little bit of an upset. The Marlins have been playing well throughout this season. They've challenged for first place in the NL East, and they've never really been out of it. That's kind of the interesting thing going back and looking at some of the days where we've had the Marlins and the Phillies in the same day, is seeing how close those records are. Grady Sizemore is your player of the game, 1 for 2 with that 3-run home run. Dustin DeScherzer, 8-6 after the win. Derek Holland, 6-6 after the loss. Sizemore, his 6th home run. 6 is all over the place. This truly is the Devil's game. Cincinnati Reds sweep the Florida Marlins. That might be a good opportunity for us to go take a look at the wild card race for the National League. Just because of the sweep there. That's an unexpected result. Okay. Let's go. Let's do that. Hopefully there's some interesting matchups tomorrow that we can work with. Let's go back. Let's go around the league while we have just a moment. The American League wild card. Athletics. Oops. I wanted the National League wild card. So the Marlins, wow, okay, so they've lost 5 in a row, the Marlins have. They now trail the Braves are all of a sudden in the playoffs. Padres are 4 games out, but the Marlins and the Diamondbacks 1 game back. Holy moly. In the East, 3 games back of the Phillies. Oh no, that's wrong, because they're 4 games back of the Phillies. The Marlins are out of the playoffs right now. Holy moly. We have the one score to catch up on. It is the Brewers over the Phillies. Speaking of the Phillies. 6-4 your final there. And then our last game of the night is... That's right, it's the Astros and the Dodgers. I think both these teams are kind of far back, so it's not maybe the most exciting game in the world, but it was the 2 teams that were the closest in record. But I do like that NL wild card has bunched up a little bit with the Braves, the Diamondbacks, the Marlins, kind of all fighting for that one spot. AL wild card's been kind of a tight race. for a little bit now since Cleveland has stumbled. They were in first place for so long in the Central. They've stumbled. The Mariners and the Athletics, neither team has really done a good job putting themselves in first and staying in first. And the Royals took advantage of Cleveland stumbling. And there's another team that's kind of in that, in that area. But I'm blanking on it. I'm sure we just looked at it too. Welcome to Los Angeles. 33 and 32 are the Houston Astros. 32 and 34 are the Dodgers. Let's get you set up with the Houston Astros lineup. It'll be Sean Figgins. He'll lead off at third base. It'll be followed by Kosuke Fukudome. Fukudome? He is the DH. Matt Holliday in left. Carlos Quinton in right. Billy Butler at first. Colby Rasmussen right. Or what? Colby Rasmussen center, sorry. Omar Infante at second. John Hester as the catcher. Marco Scutaro is the shortstop. I'm going to flip this thumbnail real quick while we learn about our starting pitcher for the Dodgers. Ricky Nolasco, 5-6 with a 5.66 ERA, 13 games, 35 innings, 43, 12, and 29 hits, walks, and strikeouts. Funny how that works out, that wins, losses, and ERA all being kind of the same number. Here's your defensive lineup for the Dodgers. It'll be led off by Sean Figgins. Go Mariners, playing for the evil Houston Astros. They weren't evil just yet for Mariners fans, but because they were still in the Central at the time. Thought about the bunt there, but pulled back. Fourth game of 4 today. Pitch misses for a ball. Thank you again, everybody, for hanging out post Super Bowl. I appreciate it. That is knocked into left field. Figgins will think about it, but not nearly deep enough. Now it'll be interesting to see if they want to push him to second. He does have the speed for it. Kosuke? How do they say it? Kosuke Fukudome. See what he can do against the right-handed pitcher. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is outside for a ball. Here's the 1-0. It gets the letters right at the top of the zone to make it 1-1. Takes that one on the outside edge for a strike, 1-2. Fukudome's got to pull the bat off his shoulder. He does so, but drives it foul. That ball's foul. I'm sorry, I called it early. My bad. That ball's foul. 1-2. The wind and the pitch is outside for a ball. Two and two. Surprisingly, they have not put Figgins in motion. I thought they would have done that by now. And, of course, they do it. It's a ball. He is safe, even though the throw might have beat him because this game is, well, let's face it, bad. The throw was a little bit low and the throw in a little high. But you can see that delay where they catch it. They have to kind of reset to 1 and then go for the tag. Figgins was in a little more clearly than I thought he was. The pitch being a ball does make it a full count. So here comes a payoff pitch. A runner in scoring position now, and Fukudome is going to drive that out to left. It'll be a one-hop. Figgins is going to hit third, and he'll run home. It is cut off. The slide is safe, and just like that, Houston up 1-0 for Matt Holliday. Batting average is .254. There's no possible way that's actually 5th in the NL. It must be a holdover stat. I can't imagine that that's actually correct. Because if it was, like, why wouldn't you tell me that A-Rod is first or whatever? That's rolled foul, third base side. Well, probably because I wouldn't know what to do with A-Rod. Because he would have been... He played AL the whole time. Mariners, Rangers, Yankees. Inside for a ball. Ooh, we can double check that. That feels right. Nope, we've already looked him up. Foul up the first base side. Mariners, oh, that's right, because his career started a little earlier than I realized. 94 to 2000 in Seattle. 01 to 03 in Texas. Yankees from 2004 to 2013, as that is splashed into center field. Lead runner hits second and heads to third. Slides in head first safely. That's just a safe signal, everybody. And then 2015, 2016. So what happened in 2014? He's suspended. Oh, the biogenesis. Suspension was now the previous season, but delayed pending an appeal. Upheld. Suspended the entirety of the 2014 season. Another hit into center field. The runner from third scores. The runner only moves to second. Billy Butler leads the NL in RBIs with 29. That is not a surprising stat because that's the highest number we've seen AL or NL. Looking for number 30. So maybe that other one is accurate. It's high. And postseason at the end announced no longer serve as everyday third baseman. Okay. Serve as a designated hitter. Okay, so yeah, I forgot about that specific thing. Oh, it wasn't meant to bring him up. I just whole career in the AL. Now he plays all of a sudden for a team in the NL. They might not have to do with it. But then we see that he leads in the whatever, the RBI, blah blah blah. Right back at square one. Here we go. 1-1. Nobody on or nobody out. 2 on. That is into left field. Do they send him around? They sure do. And that is safe. So Houston coming out firing here on all cylinders. As there is still no one out. Colby Rasmus. Can they get just something? Even turning a double play. Just an out, I think, would help a lot of this scenario. On a 1-0 count here. Nobody on. Nobody gone. It's because I usually say it the other way. Into right field. They are going to hold the runner at third. That is a smart play. Didn't get out there super deep. Got out there pretty quickly. Yet another hit given up by this Dodgers starter. We'll bring up Omar Infante batting .304. The bases are loaded. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is driven into center field. That'll score at least one. They'll send the runner around third to score just the one. Nice throw. Thought it might have been a little high, especially for this game, considering how when they go up high for it, they still kind of come back down, then make the tag. It wasn't quite as bad. It was a nice turn where the ball was fairly level. Instead of like starting low, going high, dropping low. So that is how the Houston Astros pick up their first out. A run cut down to the plate. It's still 4-0. Runner in scoring position. With the Dodgers, all of a sudden, it feels like they have a lot of hope to get out of this and just try and stop the bleeding the best they can. That is a dangerous pitch. Kind of so bad it's good. Catcher very clearly set up on the outside. Had to take that pitch and catch it on the inside. But it's a strike, so I don't think you're complaining too much. 0-1. 2 on, 1 gone. And this is driven out towards center field. Makes the grab. Runner tries to tag for third. Cutoff is so bad in this game. It just crushes any chance you really have to get an out. It so heavily favors the offense, that cutoff, which is wild. Marco Scutero, 273 average. That is driven out towards right. And there is out number 3. So mercifully for the Los Angeles Dodgers, the inning comes to a close. 7 hits, 4 runs scored, 1 run cut down at home plate. We will introduce you to the Los Angeles Dodgers lineup. It starts off with 3-inning legend Juan Pierre, the designated hitter. Carlos Beltran in center. Ryan Braun in left. Adam Dunn at first. Michael Stanton and in right field. Wilson Bettman at third. Gordon Beckham at second. Paul Janisch is the shortstop. Janisch? Ryan Dobin is the catcher. Dodgers find themselves in a big hole, 4-0 already. The interesting piece of the puzzle will be, can the Los Angeles Dodgers take a little bit of the momentum that they gained defensively? Andy Pettit's the lefty, 7-6 with a 5.30 ERA. 13 games, 37.1 innings pitched, 47, 16, and 39 hits, walks, and strikeouts. This game doesn't give up a ton of runs in multiple, in consecutive innings. So sometimes you'll see, here's a good example, 4 runs in the first inning, that is like a 0-0. Every once in a while, go back to that Minnesota-Pittsburgh game. Pittsburgh scored 14. Oh my goodness. This game doesn't want the Dodgers to win. That's a ridiculous animation to give the pitcher. Are you kidding me? Oh, man. All right, well, if you had hoped that the Dodgers were going to make a comeback, sorry. Carlos Beltran stepping up to face the lefty. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is, got a hold of it, but pulled it foul. Foul ball. Oh, and 1. Outside for a ball. That is popped into foul territory. That does not bode well. This is such a bad start for the Dodgers offense. Just when you thought, hey, the Dodgers defense and pitching got off to a pretty bad start, hey, the Dodgers offense said, hey, don't worry, hold my beer. Hold on. We're going to get one of the worst pitching animations we've seen all season. And then a pop out into foul territory. Lefty fire. 1 pitch, 1 swing. Is that out number 3? Oh my goodness. It is indeed out number 3. So the Dodgers down quickly, and we will restart the lineup for the Astros. Figgins, Fukudome, and Holiday. Figgins 1 for 1 with a single and a stolen base. As we get ready to start the top of the second. The wind and the pitch. That's going to be thrown. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. That is already hit number 8. We have an injury. Oh, no. It must have been the guy who went for that diving A diving play at second base. Yeah, Cliff Pennington will step in. You know what? Just F's in the chat for the Dodgers. Kosuke Fukudome steps up. Now the question again becomes, are they going to put Figgins in motion? He's safe as they are 99.9% of the time, not a joke percentage. Every time they try to pick off, with the exception of one, it has been safe. One time it led to an out. Figgins had a stolen base last time Fukudome was up. Do they try to get him in motion again? 1-0. I'll check on the runner. Safe. Runner safe. Here comes the 1-0 pitch toward the plate. It's low for ball 2. Two 2-0. Righty winds and fires. That's low for ball 3. Oh my God. Dodgers. I think, who was it that we saw? It was the Rockies. The Rockies gave up 4 to the Cubs in the top of the first. And then didn't score anything in the bottom of the first. And then the starting pitcher gave up 2 consecutive hits. And then they just went, we're going to the pen. Bring him in. Like, we just go anywhere other than this pitcher. I think the Dodgers need to employ that right now. It's a broken bat foul ball. Fills the count. 3-2. You just can't do this. And it was an abysmal bottom of the first. I'll check on the runner again. Safe. Looking for a payoff pitch. 3-2. He's safe. Something in my gut said that he was throwing over. Something in there was like, he's gonna try. And he did. And I was right. Ooh, that's a tough strike 3 call. It's there. Oh, Fukudome. Right on the top of the zone. It'll bring up Matt Holliday 1 for 1 with a single. He scored a run. That's a good break for the Dodgers. Might keep him on the mound for a little bit. I don't know if that's what you want, but here comes the 1-0. Misses low 2. Now he fell behind the last batter. Ended up getting a strikeout with a very nice pitch. A little surprised. I guess, like, the location makes sense for it to be strike 3, right? But you also look at how bad this pitcher's been. It's surprising that the umpire gave him the strike. Gave him the benefit of the doubt. Here comes the 2-0. In for a strike. Makes it 2-1. Didn't need the benefit of the call there. That was a strike. The 2-1 is hit into left field. Runner advances to second, and that's as far as he'll go. So yet another hit, and that's the first out for the Dodgers that isn't like a fly ball. They had 2 fly balls, and then obviously they had the run cut down to home plate. There hasn't been a lot of infield opportunities. That one gets by the diving third baseman. Runners will advance. He is safe, and ooh, that was close. So it'll be runners on the corners. Ricky Nolasco, 1.1 innings pitched with 10 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned, 1 strikeout. 35 pitches so far. And they're going to let him roll. The Dodgers apparently throwing in the towel on this season, even though they might not be super out of it in the West. This isn't the kind of performance you're looking for if you're trying to get back into it. I'm not exactly sure how... When was the last time we watched the... You know the Diamondbacks are about a game out. So last time we watched the Rockies. That is in for a strike. It's been kind of a bit. That's actually kind of a... Oh, it is the 15th. So if we look at the 15th, that is swung on and missed. The 15th, it was what, the first game? Nope, it was not the first game. It was also not that game either. Here's the wind of the pitch. It is fouled away. It's not that game either. Hold on. Was it the final game? Or do I have my notes all wrong? What day was it? June 15. Oh, there's another strikeout for the Dodgers pitcher, as it is swung on and missed. Okay, well, I guess we can solve this problem later. Why is that not... Oh, did I click on the wrong picture? Or did I accidentally overwrite it? I must have overwritten it. Oops. Okay, never mind. The notes were correct. Weird. Alright. So here we are in the top of the second. That pitch is going to get away. Runner's going to... Oh, they're going to actually send the runner home! That's the first time we've seen that. Cool. All right. Hey, at least we look at something different now. This pitcher is having just the worst day on the mound possible. Six nothing Houston, 1-2 with 2 outs. Nolasco has gotten a couple of strikeouts. Does he have a third? No. Instead, he brushes him back a little bit. There's the wind and the pitch. Inside for a ball. What do they have for a payoff pitch? Here's the righty. Winds and fires. Gets the swing and the miss. So they give up a couple more runs, but Nolasco does pick up 3 strikeouts, 10 hits. For the Astros, excuse me, they have scored 6 runs. The 4, 5, 6 hitters coming up for the Dodgers. They need a big inning here if they want to keep this game close or even think about making a comeback. They cannot have a repeat of the bottom of the first inning. And that was such a bad... It wasn't 100% their fault because they did give the pitcher a very generous animation. Done 1 pitch, 1 swing, and drives that one. Foul ball. That's outside. Here comes the 1-1. That is foul of the first baseline. That'll be... that animation not as bad as the previous one, but first outs for the Dodgers here in this game. First and second inning gone right back to the pitcher. So Michael Stanton, as you might know him, Giancarlo Stanton. That'll be... the sound in the distance did not add up to me. That sounded like he got it off the end of the bat, but still drove that pretty deep into left field. And they're doing, I mean, the Dodgers are doing it. They're doing exactly what I told them that they should not be doing, and that is repeating the first inning. That's a one pitch, one swing, one out. They can't be doing that. They're down by 6. I gotta force this pitcher to throw some pitches. The Dodgers' front numbers aren't red? I guess not. When did they start having red front numbers? This also being the final game of the PS2 era. When did the Dodgers, hold on, start having red numbers on jerseys? Story behind the Dodgers red numbers. Uniwatch.com. Okay, that's a good. 2K11 was where it was at. Oh, 404 page not found. We were going to learn. Damn it, I love learning. Awesome post. Recently bought my first Dodgers jersey. That's low for a ball. Okay, well, I thought we had it, but hold on. Today I learned the Dodgers started wearing red numbers on the front in 1951. Okay, MLB The Show. What are we doing? Looks like the Royals 2K11. I don't know that I have. Do I have 2K11? I probably have 2K10, 12, and 13, maybe? I don't know. Who knows? There's piles of crap behind me. I'm assuming you mean MLB 2K11? I know people love NBA 2K11, but I didn't know there were diehard fans for MLB 2K11. Or even probably any of the 2K games after, like, I don't know, maybe 06? Okay, Dodgers don't do anything here in the bottom of the second. We'll head to the top of the third. Mercifully, the Dodgers are going to go find a different pitcher. It'll be Rynel Pinto. 20 games, a 4-3 record, 2 saves, 5.79 ERA, 18.2 innings pitched. I did not catch the walks and the strikeouts. 8 walks to 22 strikeouts. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is in for a strike. I do have 2K12 for the PS2. Here's a wind and the pitch outside. I didn't even think about the red numbers on the Dodgers jerseys. The front of them. Conversation recently has been like, what year did the PS2 version become kind of just a roster update? As this is driven out to right field, they make the catch. And the best start to an inning so far for this Dodgers defense, as they're able to get the leadoff batter out. John Hester's 0 for 1. So the pitching change worked. I mean, it's exactly why I thought it was a good idea, foul ball, for them to go into the bullpen. We saw it work for the Rockies. The Rockies played the Cubs. They gave up the 4 runs. The starting pitcher, after an abysmal offensive half inning, stayed in the top of the second. He gave up 2 hits. They said no. The reliever that they brought in shut the Cubs down, and they were able to make a comeback and win the game. But the Dodgers took too long, and granted their offense didn't come up with anything in the bottom of the second, but give yourselves a chance. They gave up 2 more runs. They're down 6-0. Wind in, the pitch is low for a ball. The 1-0 outside makes it 2-0. Got to be way more aggressive here. You're already down 6. It's not gonna get a whole lot worse. Especially when you could try and do something like that. And out in foul territory. Figgins is 2 for 2, 2 singles. I didn't catch the rest of those stats. 2 singles, a stolen base, and he has scored twice. What does he have up his sleeve this time? He is going to drive that out towards right field, but it's not going to be enough. That is out number 3, and the best defensive inning for the Dodgers comes after they switch the pitchers. They give up just the 1 hit. Pick up the outs fairly efficiently. 6-0 as we head to the home half. Okay, so it is Paul Janisch. According to the PA system, it sounds like they've been incorrect before. Janisch will step up. He'll take a ball low. 1-0. Lefty winds in, fires. That's inside for a ball. I wonder how many of the games don't have the Dodgers red numbers. It's the first time someone's mentioned it. Lefty winds and fires. That gets the strike call. Right at the top of the zone. Two and one. And that is lifted out into right field, and it will go foul. Foul ball. 2-2. There's a wind in the pitch, and it is driven. That ball's foul. It's driven foul. Count remains 2-2. 6-0 with nobody out. Here in the home half of the third. Final game of the day, swung on and missed is the pitch. Out number 1. Hey, perfect swing timing on a pitch that barely registers in the expanded zone to show us where that ball was. Like, we quite literally needed the little sonar beep for it to go like, I'm down here. He missed me really bad. So 1 gone for the Dodgers. That is slow for ball one. Not a good start. I think you'd like to see this pitcher just try to get through this as quickly as possible, especially because the Dodgers have been pretty aggressive swinging the ball. They've gotten a lot of very... Okay, second baseman doesn't even try to make a play at the ball. It will be a single that he's going to try to stretch into a double. Shortstop covering is late to the bag, and that will be a hit. Juan Pierre going to flip the lineup over. He's batting .317 as a runner in scoring position. He was a huge part of our Colorado Rockies season last year in MLB 2K5. Wind in the pitch right back up the middle. Uh-oh. Do the Dodgers have something brewing? Several question marks. The throw a little up the line. The runner is safe as he slides into home. Cuts the lead to 6-1. Maybe the second time through the lineup gives the Dodgers a little bit of hope. Now, do they put Pierre in motion? I would not. You still need a lot to go right. Even if he steals, you still need a lot to go right. And getting out number 2, probably not worth it. He's back safe at first. Okay, all right. I would have given you the safe call. I was there. I was ready. Could have been. Safe. Here's a wind to the pitch. Appeal down to first. Yeah, you're going to say he went. I didn't think he did. Thought that was a good check swing there. But today, MLB 11, the show, absolutely despises the Los Angeles Dodgers. Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for this team today. Safe. Got it. Called it. Safe. We're ready with our hands. We're not going to smash them on our desk. Is he going to go? Is he going to try? Is he going to look? No. Oh, they call him out on strikes on the outside edge. Oh, boy. Okay, it's a strike. It's a strike. Thank God. If that pitch is on the edge or like even like just out of the zone, it's just... Yeesh. All right, Ryan Braun, the last hope for the Dodgers. I'm a little surprised to see how passive that previous batter was, is Beltran. The Dodgers have been so aggressive swinging the bat in this game, and all of a sudden with 2 strikes, down by 5, he's like, I'll take that one. Don't worry about it. I'm out. 1-0, safe. 99.9 failure rate for the pickoffs. They're safe every time, except for one. They are going to put Juan Pierre in motion. He's down. He is safe. Wasn't 100% sure. Went in with that leg slide. That one seems to throw the momentum a little bit, or throw that momentum off just a little bit more. But yeah, he's in. This is field goal is good. That is a safe call. He's safe. And the field goal is good. 1-1. Lefty winds and fires inside for a ball. Two and one with 2 gone. A runner on second. Braun is going to punch that to the shortstop. He'll come up with it cleanly. Fire to first in time, and that is your ball game. The Houston Astros put 4 on in the first, 2 more in the second, and they cruise to a 6-1 victory. Dodgers tried to make it interesting late, but their first 2 innings were so bad. Not 100% their fault, though they didn't help themselves. The first 2 outs, or the first out in the first 2 innings were both to the pitcher, and one of them was one of the most kind animations the pitcher could have ever gotten. And that pitcher was Andy Pettitte. 3 innings, 2 hits, 2 strikeouts on the day. He improves to 8-6. Ricky Nolasco falls to 5-7. I do think that the Dodgers genuinely made a mistake letting Ricky Nolasco stay in as long as he did. I keep going back to it with that Rockies-Cubs game, but that was such a smart move to go like, okay, you've given up 2 hits. We have to change something up. The difference is that Nolasco still gave up the hit, but he was able to come back with a strikeout. I think that is where the game goes, oh, maybe you have something figured out. He still ended up giving up 2 more runs, and it just obviously didn't work out. It wasn't great, but you have to give yourself a chance. The game also just doesn't seem to realize that it's only 3 innings, so you would have to go in and tinker with the whole AI to understand. If setting is 3, then whatever. But that will do it. Let's go ahead and sim to date. Mariners pick up a 4-3 victory. That's good news for good old me. Where were we? We caught up there. Tigers over the Rangers 1-0. Speaking of the Cubs and the Rockies win that one 1-0. Astros 6-1 winners over the Dodgers. Braves beat the Giants 1-0. That puts them in 38 wins. And then the Mariners pick up a save and a win. They win 4-3. That will do it for our coverage here on youtube.com/ShaunosaurusRex. Let's take a quick look at the wild card. Okay, so the Athletics were off. White Sox still in play. Kind of like the Blue Jays, but I don't know that I believe it. White Sox on a 6-game win streak. Good for them. Oh, and then we can look at the National League wild card. Diamondbacks, Marlins now trail by a 1.5 games. Astros, we saw them win today. Oh, we're the Dodgers. The Dodgers are way back. They needed win number 33 to make it kind of interesting. Yeah, they're too far back here. I mean, even the Padres are kind of out of it. It's going to be Diamondbacks or Rockies. We'll figure out some games to watch tomorrow. Let's head to save slot number 8. Thank you again, everybody, so much for watching, hanging out, especially after the Super Bowl. I know it started late, but I was having a good time watching the game, snacking on some snacks, and watching the Seahawks win their 2nd Super Bowl. They avenge that hand Marshawn the ball game, so they don't have to worry about that anymore. I'll be back tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pacific time, with more MLB 11, the show here on the channel. Subscribe, ring the bell, give the video a thumbs up if you had a good time with it, and we will catch you tomorrow with more baseball action. Thanks again for watching. Have a great rest of your night. Go Sports, go Hawks, and go baseball. It's baseball season now, everybody. Let's go!